Here's what nobody tells you about editing. It isn't one long fight with the software. It's 3 short passes in the same order every single time. One Skillshare class builds a whole YouTube video on screen in exactly that order. Imported, cut, dressed, graded, exported. Nearly 62,000 students have sat in on it. This is video editing with Final Cut Pro X. From beginner to YouTuber, taught by Ali Abdaal, 34 lessons, 3¼ hours. Built for complete beginners on a Mac. Here's the plan, the 3-pass workflow, the A-cut key by key, B-roll, polish, and the trick everyone asks him about, then what the students actually said. The whole class runs on one order of operations. Pass 1, the A-cut, you talking to camera, cut until it is sharp. Pass 2, the B-roll, layered on top of it. Pass 3, coats of polish, music, audio, and color. Out of order, you redo work. Before any of that, the tour, Final Cut, opens as 3 panels. A browser for your footage, a viewer for the frame you are on, and the magnetic timeline underneath. Then the filing system, a fresh library for every video. Your project is a monthly favorites video and he cuts his own alongside yours. Step 1 is unglamorous. Record on a proper microphone, then let Final Cut sync it to the camera on a clap. So who is teaching? Ali Abdaal, a doctor working in Cambridge who taught himself to edit in the 2 years before filming this, using trial, error, and a pile of tutorials while revising for his final medical exams. That is the credential that matters here, not a film school graduate handing down theory. A self-taught YouTuber with over 350,000 subscribers at the time, showing you the workflow that got him there. And it explains the pacing. He remembers being confused by the same menus, so nothing at all is assumed. Every keystroke stays on screen, and the things that took him longest to work out get the most minutes here. Inside, it is 196 minutes across 34 lessons, arranged as one continuous edit of a single video, rather than a tour of the software's menus and panels. And the contents page tells you what he cares about: 6 lessons to set up, 9 on the A-cut alone, including 11 minutes assembling it and 11 more tightening it, then 10 lessons of B-roll, then music, audio, and color to finish. Nothing here is a demonstration for its own sake. Every lesson exists because that one edit needed it. The pacing is generous exactly where it needs to be. And the longest lesson in the class is a 22-minute deep dive into one single solitary effect. Pass 1 and it is built with 4 fingers, not the mouse. I marks where a good take starts. O marks where it stops being good. E throws it onto the end of the timeline. L runs the footage faster so you are not watching your own pauses in real time. Mark, append, repeat, your hands stop leaving the keyboard. Then a whole lesson defends one idea he picked up from Hank Green. Online, a pause reads as a mistake. So the stumbles, the ums, and the breaths come out, and because the timeline is magnetic, everything slides left to close the hole. 2 lessons and over 22 minutes go into assembling that cut and then tightening it, which tells you where the snap in a good video comes from. Snappy is the absence of dead air. Pass 2, 10 lessons and over 90 minutes spent stacking things on top of that clean A-cut. This is the pass that makes a video worth watching. It starts with titles, a full quarter of an hour on the full screen card that whooshes in to open a new section. Then the smaller ones, a word popping up as you mention a book, and lower thirds for names. He builds each one on screen and he is refreshingly honest about which ones look cheap. Then images, mention a title and the cover flies in exactly as you say it. Fill the frame with a picture, add a slow push-in, the Ken Burns effect, and a still photo starts to breathe. Then markers become the timestamps in your description. It is small and it works. And there are 3 more places footage comes from: a screen recording off your phone, a screen recording off your desktop, and a second camera pointed at whatever your hands are doing. None of that costs anything. The talking never stops underneath, only the picture changes. Which brings us to the effect he gets asked about more than anything else: the handwriting that draws itself on screen. The method is almost disappointingly simple. Write it on an iPad with the page color set to black. Screen record yourself writing, then drop that recording over your footage, blend it, and the black falls away. It takes 22 minutes, the biggest single block in the class, which sounds indulgent for one effect until you notice the placement. It arrives after all the grunt work as the reward, and it answers the question his viewers keep sending him in full. It is also the only lesson that asks for extra hardware. That one wants an iPad and a pencil. Everything else in the class needs neither. Pass 3, the coats of polish, 4 lessons on sound alone, where he licenses his music, how to loop a track so it covers a long edit, how to splice the ending so the song finishes on the final frame, and a whoosh under every transition because that is the sound of an edit that has been cared for. None of it is difficult, all of it is noticeable. Then the finish. A limiter and an equalizer lift the voice to around -4.5 to -6 decibels, which is where he says audio should sit. A lookup table drops a graded look over the whole thing in 1 click, 2 clicks, and the footage stops looking like a phone video. And then a single keyboard shortcut exports the master file, and you are genuinely done for the night. Step back and the shape is unusual. 34 lessons and not one of them is a menu tour. It is a single continuous edit. Empty library at the start, exported file at the end with nothing skipped in the middle. That is a rare thing in a software class. Look at where the minutes actually go. About 7 in every 10 are spent on the 2 passes that decide whether a video gets watched. Cutting the talking clean, then layering something interesting over it. The software features get the leftovers, which is the right way round. So you do not walk out with a list of features you will have forgotten by Thursday. You walk out with an order of operations, a handful of shortcuts in your fingers, and one finished video that you made while he made his. You finish with something published, not a folder of exercises. So, does it deliver? 96% of students said the class met or exceeded expectations, and 71% said it flat out exceeded them. On the most liked board, the winner is the man himself, engaging teacher with 985 votes. Clarity of instruction sits right behind on 956, then organization, then helpful examples. Charm first, substance immediately after. And nothing on that board is far behind anything else. Even the lowest tag, actionable steps, lands within a few points of the top, which is the profile of a class that manages to be enjoyable and complete at the same time. So who is it for? The first video YouTuber with footage and no idea what order to work in. The half-user of Final Cut who has never touched a shortcut, and the trick hunters chasing timestamps and handwriting. If you edit on Premiere, DaVinci, or Windows, skip it. This is Final Cut on a Mac. Because underneath the shortcuts, the plugins, and the color grades, the class keeps repeating the same simple instruction over and over. Cut it clean, then dress it up. A-cut, B-roll, polish, export. That order outlives every software update, every new camera, and every video you will ever make. Learn it once and you keep it for good, which brings us, finally, to the final verdict. So the verdict, worth 3¼ hours. Yes, if you want the whole workflow rather than one feature you could have searched for. You get a real edit start to finish from someone who taught himself the slow way and then wrote down the shortcut. 3 hours now for years of faster edits. It is included with a Skillshare membership and there is a free trial, so it costs nothing to start. One last thing. Click the link in the description. It gets you in free through Skillshare. Then open Final Cut, import one clip and cut one pause out of it. One clip, one pause, and you have started. That is tonight's entire assignment. See you in the next review.